Okay, hi, Potato here. I'm sure you guys are watching this because I've kind of hinted on wanting to make this for a long time, and I did not manage to. So only today I managed to have the time to do it. Anyway, it's gonna be a little bit unscripted, but I do have some points that I wanna hit and mention. Uh, and of course, let's get started with it. So a little bit of a warning or a heads up. This method that I'm doing is to totally forget your keyboard binding and totally forget your traditional controller layout. So this is imagine this being like a third input. You know how mouse and keyboard is one input, and then the controller is the another input. So the third input will be split gyro. The reasoning being is that with Steam input, it opens up a whole new way to have a bunch of inputs just in your thumbs and your fingertips. So a little bit of a heads up for that is good. This is not a way to how to have mixed inputs inside. No, this is not mixed input. This is purely using keyboard inputs, but with the way of gyro. So I apologize if I'm speaking a bit horribly. My English is not that good. Anyway, so let's talk about the left controller first. So joystick is obviously movement. The left trigger for this game, left trigger is attack, which is melee. So if I aim down my sight, then it will be gun. So don't get confused. So left, I'm just gonna mention it as attack, so it can be your shoot or whatever. So left is your attack, left trigger, and then your left bumper would be your mode shift. Mode shifting is basically a button that you hold down, and then it will change all the inputs on your face button and any other buttons that you set yourself. It doesn't have to be the buttons that I set, it can be anything. And then of course the D-pad is pretty much nothing in this game because I need all of my buttons to be accessible while I'm moving, so I don't have it in my D-pad because I have to stop moving in order to do that. So things like healing and grenades and pinging, you know, for example pinging. So this for maybe you want to open up menus or maps, you can do this as well if a game that you play doesn't let you walk with your map open. So this would be a great button for mapping. Anyway, of course sprint is already pre-mapped to the back button of the left controller for the AOLine J20, which is the controller that I'm using. If you don't have it already pre-mapped with your own controller, I'm sure you can remap it either via Steam input or by the hardware itself through the manual. And of course, we'll go on to the right controller. Right controller is a bit more involved. There's a lot going on. So I'll mention this as face buttons. So left face, up face, down face, and right face, or top and bottom face, whichever one that I would say, because some of us are from PlayStation controller, some of us are from Xbox and Switch, so it's easier to just call it the face. Okay, so we'll do it without the mode shift first, sorry. So basically these are the buttons that I press without holding the mode shift button, which I will explain later on what it is. Left one is the enable and disable gyro. Why I have it on to enable when held and disable when not held is it works in the same principle as a mouse. So when your mouse is on the surface, your sensor is enabled, quote unquote enabled, and then you can move your mouse. And then if you want to readjust or reorient yourself, you lift it off the surface, which is off the button, and then reorient yourself. So like that. So that is my thinking on why I set it that way. And then the top button, top face is interact. So you can see with my dog here. And then the right face is my dog's skill, which is skill number 1. So I were to aim, and then I click on it, and then I'll double click to call him back, and then of course I can hold it down for him to howl. It's just the game specific skill. It's not really whatever I bound to, it's just a button. And of course the bottom is to dodge or jump depending on the game that you're playing. And then with the mode shift held, as you can see, my left face is still the gyro, which is good. I'm not sacrificing my gyro just for the mode shift. It is actually called a button card, but I will explain later on. Top one would be my reload. So for example, as you can see, I'm reloading while I'm holding the left bumper and the top face. It is actually second nature for me. It might be a bit confusing for you at first, but you'll get used to it if you were to follow my setup. You don't have to follow one-to-one, of course. This is just a guide on how to use Steam input and why I bind my settings this way. And then of course, the right face with mode shift is my secondary skill, which is to mark enemies around me. I don't have any enemies, so. And then the bottom will be my third skill, which is, as you can see on the bottom right there, is the gun skill, which is basically to change my ammo, which does this. So that is for the face buttons. And then of course, with my right bumper, it is to change weapons. And then if I hold down my mode shift, it is to ping. Because I rarely use ping, I don't really use this much so often unless I'm playing with friends or with randoms. And then my right trigger is aiming down sight. So I'm sure some of you are wondering why we have aiming down sights as the right trigger instead of the left trigger. It is because if you have it, if you have your shooting as your right hand, take a look at my left hand whenever I'm shooting. Do you see how much it moves the controller? And my right hand is just stable. Yeah, those minor movements will actually affect your aim really badly. You might not feel it. You'll be like, oh, you can learn. You can kind of get used to it. Yeah, you can, but this is a much easier way to just do stuff. And then of course, with your left, some of you would say, why not just put the gyro on my left controller instead? Well, you can, but can you see how much my movement is affected by the joystick for the left controller? So anything that affects the movement of my controller physically is all on my left, while my right is purely aim and aiming down sights, of course. Alright, so last little bit of a input. It is the right joystick button. So the right joystick button is scroll wheel up and scroll wheel down. This is mainly for options or menus. So as you can see, I'm using the joystick as the as you can see, it's just the way how I scroll with the controller without having to use this, you know. Some people have it where the joystick, when you go clockwise, it is scrolling up, and then counterclockwise it is scrolling down, that kind of thing. I don't like that. I just want to very quickly scroll up and then very quickly scroll down. You can set it how fast you want, it's up to you. And then of course, with the mode switch of the joystick, it is the radial menu on how I use my hotkeys on the bottom left there. So number 1 will be my health, and then number 2 will be my potion or whatever that route is. I forgot already, it's been a while since I played this game. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. So the reason why I'm showcasing this game is because the inputs are so little that you don't have to kind of risk memorizing too many things at once. Of course, this is very easy. Just hold and then joystick. It's just a radial menu, so there's nothing really to memorize. And then of course, the only thing that you pretty much have to memorize is the face button skills and the face button secondary inputs, which is your mode shift. So the D-pad is totally not, you know, not being used at the most part, for the most part, for this game, unless I really have to. So yeah. So let's show how it works. Let me enable Steam input down here. Right. So before I start, I'm sure some of you are wondering how it is that I'm getting the latency to be very good. So for example, as you can see, my latency is pretty almost non-existent. It is because I have an 8-bit do ultimate controller, which comes with a dock, and the dock, if for those of you who has this, it comes with a dongle. So the dongle actually acts, the dock actually acts as a USB extender, as you can see. So I have the dongle of the Alliance in here instead, and then I just set it to one side of my desk. So the latency is instant. It's pretty much instant. There is no line of sight being blocked, and then there's no like interference being blocked because it's super close. Alright, anyway, let's continue. So I'm gonna show you my layout first, so I can view it here. I if you want to take a screenshot for reference, feel free to do it, but here is pretty much how I set it up. So for this game, that is, and then of course we will go back, right? So let's go back, and then we will go to edit layout. So as you can see over here, when you open the Steam button menu, Steam input menu, I'm sure you guys will be kind of overwhelmed with what's going on. So just know that the face button is anything that is on your right controllers, on your right controller, and the bumpers, and of course the start and the plus and minus buttons, which is your start and select for all of us oldies out there. So just keep in mind of that. D-pad is obviously just the D-pad, triggers would be just the triggers, and then joystick would be just the joystick. So it's pretty easy. It's all grouped, right? So as you can see here, this is a button chord. What's a button chord versus a mode shift? So a mode shift, for example, I can show you on the directional pad, is when you hold it, this entire grouping of the directional pad is changed to another grouping. The reason why I don't use mode shift here and I use button chords instead is because you don't want to disable your left face when you want to change to a mode shift. So when, for example, if you're holding this, you don't want this to swap to a secondary input. You just want this to stay as one input, no matter if you hold this or not. Which is why I have it to button chord instead of mode shift. Because if it's mode shift, it will totally change every single one of them. And I don't want to have to rebind these to another to gyro again, because I'm not sure if Steam input is that buggy or not, but I rather not try. I rather not test it. Anyway, so let's go and start our new template of keyboard and mouse, and then just click apply layout. So over here we will go edit layout, and then we will start with the face button first, the most complicated one. So of course for this game you don't have to follow mine, and of course obviously you don't have to follow the keybinds. Just remember what button is what. So for example, for this game we have skill 3 buttons, 3 skill buttons, my bad. So we want to make sure that we have 3 skills being inputted already, including the jump, gyro, and interact, and so on and so forth. So for A, which is the bottom one, I know over here it says A, but I'm using a Nintendo Switch layout. That's just how Steam input is. I set up mine to not have the Switch buttons show up, because I'm very used to Xbox layout instead of Switch. So this is more second nature to me in terms of muscle memory. So we will have A as jump, which is correct, and then we want to have the top face. So A is bottom face, top face would be Y, so we will have U as E, and then we have the right face as Q for the first skill, and then X will be removed. Alright, so if you want to do removing or anything, you click on the cog wheel over here. If you want to change the bind, you just click on the bigger rectangle here. And then of course, if you want to add in the second command, you click on the cog wheel and then click on add extra command. So add extra command, what did we press? I honestly forgot already, but I'm assuming it's the jump. So we want to do the third skill button, which is F. Yep, so third skill button, and then a B we want to do L, which is the secondary button, the second skill. So make sure to rename so that you know what is what. Do not skip over this, because you are going to forget. No one's going to remember this for you. So this would be skill 1 and 2, and then confirm. And then of course X will be gyro, so we don't have to do anything to that. And then Y is E and R for reloading, so R. So we will do rename command, we will do interact, reload, then confirm. So now we have all of these. All of the second command, you want to click on the cog wheel and then click on button chord. On the regular press here, click on button chord. Do that for all the second command. And then after that, we want to make sure the second command is only enabled when the L bumper is being held. So you want to click on this button and then settings, and then the chord button at the top. If you don't see the chord button at the top, then that means you have not enabled it to button chording. So over here, regular press, make sure you enable it to button chord. If not, you will not see it. Alright, so change all of those to chord button left bumper. We'll do that right now. And yes, for Steam input, every time you do a change, it will automatically scroll up to the top, which is annoying. So don't worry, I understand your frustrations. So now with the L bumper, because we have it set to button chord, we do not want any input on this. So we will remove command. And then scroll wheel up will be, yeah, next weapon, which is correct. And then we will add an extra command, which is ping. Ping is G in this game. So scroll down. And then remember to set the button chord. Settings, left bumper. Alright, and then of course map will be tab. For this game, it is not actually map, it's just character info. And then escape will be the menu, which is plus and minus respectively. What you can do is also set this to long press. Oops, sorry. Set a extra command and then click on M for map. And then set it, do not set it as a mode shift or button chord, but instead set it to long press. So you can long press it to enable the map, and then you can short press it to enable the character info for this game, that is. And then the same thing here, you can rebind your screenshot to anything else that you want. It is up to you. So that is pretty much done for the face button. Next we will go to the triggers. The D-pad I will show you later on. But for the triggers, make sure your left mouse click is changed to right mouse click, and then your right mouse click is changed to left mouse click, so that your L is your shoot and then your R trigger is your aiming down sights. For some controllers, you might want, especially those with analog controllers, analog triggers, you might want to go to the settings. Sorry, not this one. You go to the trigger settings over here, and then make sure you turn the analog accordingly. Over here, analog output, change it accordingly to what you set it as. If, for example, you set it left trigger behavior to the left mouse click, and then you set this to right mouse click, it will automatically be on the right mouse click. You will activate both at the same time when you are holding one down. So you either turn it off, like me, because this controller does not have analog triggers, or you change it to your respective triggers. And then that's it. Back. And then next we go to joystick. So with the left joystick behavior, nothing needs to be changed. The right joystick, you want to change it to directional pad over here. So right joystick up will be scroll wheel up, and then right joystick down will be scroll wheel down. But if you notice, if you were to do this, it will only send one input even though you're holding it down. So what you want to do instead is click on the cogwheel and then change hold to repeat turbo. And then you can repeat rate however much you want. The higher it is, the faster it turbos. Basically, it will keep on spamming the button. Be careful when doing that. Some games might think that you're using a macro, which technically we are. And then of course the bottom one, we do the same thing, hold to repeat turbo. And then for this game, I will need this to be Z, because this game sucks at item pop-ups, and you have to manually disable it every time it pop-ups, which is the Z button. And then of course right stick is C, which is crouch for this game. And then left joystick is the same thing. There's nothing you have to do here. I'm sure you guys want to know how to set up the the radial menu. So click on the directional pad here, the one that you have already set up. Click on it and then create a mode shift. So what this does is when you hold down, it just shows you that there is a secondary option of inputs over here on the right joystick, not only the normal one. And then on the mode shift, remember to set it to radial menu, what we want to do here, and then change it to number hotkeys, confirm. And then as you can see, once you're confirmed, all of the inputs will be gone. Basically you have to go inside the cogwheel and then add the commands yourself per input. So the first input over here will always be the center. the middle one. As you can see, if I were to put number 1, then number 1 will be the middle, which you do not want to do unless you have the Steam Deck trackpads. But we're not using Steam Deck trackpads. Sorry, not Steam Deck, Steam controller trackpad or whatever the trackpad is. So we want to remove commands. We want to add the virtual entry to 1, so it will be the outer radius instead. And then we keep on adding to 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then the icons here on the left is what you want to set the icons to. So it can be the first aid kit, which is what I have it set to. And then of course the radio menu will be potions. You can set the color if you want. I have mine bugged at the moment, so I cannot set the color. I'm sure Valve will fix that somehow someday. And then of course over here will be whatever it is. Alright, so what you want to do now is this only lets you how do I say hover over the item. As you can see how it hovers over the item, if it makes sense, if you have your joystick pointed up that way. So what you want to do instead is go to general and then select mode shift button, meaning what will activate the radio menu. The mode shift will be left bumper. So be careful here, do not click any of this, just click out of the small menu here, small window. I don't know why Valve has a little bit of inconsistency there. And then the radio menu type, click on this and then choose click instead of these two. This two is meant for if you have a trackpad, so when you were to release your thumb off of the sorry, for the release is when you click and then you release, is when the input is being sent. And then touch release would be just releasing it off the touchpad, is when the input is sent. So we are not using trackpads, we are using joysticks, so we can use either click or continuous. Continuous is a little bit dangerous, especially for those of you with bigger thumbs, because a little bit of if you nudge it or hit it a little bit, it will send a signal straight away when the joystick is nudged to the direction that you accidentally nudged it into. So use click instead, so the selection will only be made when you already aim at it and then you click it, click the right R3, the joystick. Or remember, because you already rebound the R3 to here, so you want to push forward and then click this to choose your selection. Up to you, whichever one you want to do. So and after that we go to on-screen display. So horizontal menu, the more it is, the more right it is. So the higher the number, the more to the right it goes, and then the lower the number, the more to the left. Same goes with the vertical. The more the numbers, the lower it goes. The higher the lesser the numbers, the higher it goes. And then the menu size is, I recommend just putting it at the max, to be honest, because the default is too tiny. And then back. And then of course that is done for the joystick part. Yep. And then we will go to the D-pad. So for the D-pad is the same thing, just 1 2 3 4, and then of course you can, like I said, create a mode shift and then hold the button. Remember to go to the cog wheel and then choose the ZL or the L bumper, sorry, for the mode shift, and then back. And then you can put it to 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on and so forth. Or what you can do, if you want more inputs, here's a little tip. If the item that you want, if the input that you're trying to press is not an input that you have to hold, for example, some games require you to hold to heal yourself or to use an item you have to hold, you can do this instead. So go to the first one, click on add extra command, and then let's put it to 5, and then add extra command 6, add extra command 7, and then add extra command 8. So what you can do instead is actually have this set to long press. So now when you press up, it will activate 1, but when you long press, it will activate 5. And then of course same goes with 3. 3 will be 7 if you want to follow the clockwise thing. So you know what I mean, right? So 3 will be 7, so you just plus 7 all of them, so 7, sorry, plus 5, yeah, so you just plus 5, so 4 plus 5 is I guess 8, yeah, Sorry, 4 plus 4, my bad. Plus 4, not plus 5. My goodness. And then this would be 7. Yep. Sorry, what? This would be 5. Oopsie. Okay, I'm dumb. This would be 6. Oops. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so all of these would be long press instead of regular press. Sorry, whoops, that's double press. So, and then the same could be done here. So this can be like, I don't know. You can like do 5. You can do like, wow. This can be an extra command will be 0, and then this would be 9. And then the 0 will be, oh whoops, did I change something else to 9? Yep, change you to 9. You will be 3. You will be 4, sorry. And then over here you would be 9. So as you can see, you can long press it for the bottom one. Yeah, so these are without pressing down, holding down the L bumper, and then you can press all of these, and then while pressing down the bumper you can press these inputs instead. So you have not only 8 inputs, you have another 8, which is 16 inputs just on your fingertips. So it's gonna get confusing, obviously. Probably if you want to play an MMO with strictly split gyro, you can, up to you. I mean, you're controlling the mouse, you're not controlling a joystick, so you can do that. So yeah, that's up to you. And then of course we will configure the gyro right now. So with the gyro, you want to make it so that the gyro behavior is done gyro to mouse. Click on that, and then make sure you calibrate your controller when you can. Click on the cogwheel, and then click on the left bumper, sorry, left face on your right controller, and then make sure hold to enable gyro is on. And then what you want to do is you press shift tab. Do not close this, just shift tab, and then check if the gyro is working. So right now you can see that nothing is happening except for my normal inputs. It is because when you are in the Steam input for too long, you want to click in the game, because it counts as you being out of the game for very long. So do not make the mistake that I did when I first tried it. I thought something was broken, and then I had to redo all of it. No, I didn't have to, I just redid all of it. So remember to do that. Test that your gyro is on. Gyro is on, perfect. Go back to shift tab, press back, and then click on buttons, and then choose your jump command as a camera, and then turn camera 360, and then you confirm. So what this does, you want to go back to your gyro, sorry. So what this does is basically, let's go find ourselves a vertical line like this one over here. So the 360 basically, it basically mimics your current mouse settings as going 360. What you want to do is leave your mouse sensitivity settings at default, or a low what is it, low sensitivity. Do not go high. So aim at a vertical, at the center of the vertical line with your crosshair, and then press the 360 button. So what this shows you that with one smooth of your 360, with one swipe of a 360 camera, this is the sensitivity that it has. I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but what you want it to be done is basically your mouse going 360 wants to go one-on-one with your gyro. So right now my gyro is doing more work than my mouse when turning 360. So as you can see, 1 swipe, 2 swipe, 3 swipe, 4 swipe. But with my gyro, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a fraction. So what you want to do instead is try to just press the A, which you can see is almost a little bit more than 180. So what we can do is we shift tab and then kind of double it a little bit. So I already know what my number is, so what you can do is just guesstimate, click it again. As you can see, I overshot it by a bit, and then you can just readjust it accordingly. It doesn't have to be pixel perfect, you know. So for me, I do know that mine is 12750. Wait, no, sorry, 12475. There we go. That's the correct one. and then done, and then align this. Boom. Okay, so sometimes it does this, so you want to click on it a couple of times and then try it again. Alright, so I think it is 375, not 475. Oopsie. There we go. Yep, so it will be off by a few pixels. It's up to you really if you're very anal about that. You don't have to be. For us low sensitivity users, I recommend doing 3 times real world sensitivity, if that's what yeah, correct, 3 times. So, and then you do gyro speed date zone. I would recommend messing around with this. For me, I kept it at default. Basically, the speed date zone is how much gyro movement do you need to do before the gyro activates. So the higher the date zone, meaning you have to move more, 1 degree per second. So if you're like a sniper, the higher ones may or may not be good for you. Or if you are a Twitch shooter, you might like the 0. But it'll be very hard to maintain a stable aim. So I just leave it at default. This is also default. For this one, I recommend doing, for those of you who have played controllers before, I'm sure you know that aiming up and then aiming vertically and aiming horizontally has different sensitivities. So what this does, it does a 7:3 ratio. Is it 7:3? Basically I have 30% lower to vertical. So the amount of movement I make horizontally is 30% more than the amount of movement I need to make vertically. So it makes swiping left and right much more easier. So if I were to have it default, let's just put 1%. Then when I turn left, I may or may not turn look up or down instead, because my turning left and right is not, I'm not like flat when always turning. I'm always either moving up and down because we are aiming in 3D space, so you gotta do that. So we'll do -30. Oops, -30. Or do I have to put the percentage? Well, whatever. So we'll do -30, and then of course acceleration is up to you if you want to put acceleration with momentum. Basically what it does is if you want to flick to your 180 to directly behind you, you can do that. You can either do what I do, which is to just flick it like a mouse player, or you can do it like a controller player, where the faster you flick, the more momentum you send your controller, the more sensitive your aiming becomes. So it's up to you really. And then of course all of this, I think I put this to 1. I cannot remember why I put it to 1 though. Yeah, and then that's really pretty much it, to be honest with you. And then of course don't forget to change the button back to space. Alright, the reason why I choose A is because it's space, you can't forget what it is. And then of course you want to practice. It took me like, I used this game to practice my aim. Right now I'm kind of rusty because I've been playing a lot of Duck Off, and Duck Off is not a shooter in the sense that you are a third person or first person shooter, so I just use my mouse and keyboard for that. Yeah, so that's how I set it up. And what you want to do is also, I mean, just practice, I guess. Just practice what you can and cannot do. Yep. And then of course practice your reloading, especially. Get used to pressing this and then this. Right now I've done it so often that it is like second nature to me. My aiming is not good at the moment. I haven't played gyro in like a few weeks now. But yes, don't forget to save it. So there are 3 ways to save it for Steam input. Click on the cog here, and then you can either share it with the community. But the only downside is that when you're sharing it with the community, you are sharing it with the game's community, not the entire Steam community. From what I understand, what you want to do is you go export layout instead, and then just name it I don't know, Split Gyro, whoops, Split Gyro Remnant 2, potato 3, because I've done this 3 times already. And then you either put it as personal save, which is which you can only use if you boot up the game that you saved it to, or you go to template. Template, it basically lets you use this entire template as a thing as a base template, and then you can make it, maybe your layout description is you can put it as remnant focused, or maybe from remnant, so you know why some of the buttons are not doesn't make sense in your other game, because you are taking a layout that you use for remnant 2. So now when you click on this and then you go to template, and then you will see over here it will not appear. It will actually be a little bit slow in appearing, so you want to press back again and then click it again. Where is it? Right, you know what, I'm just gonna click on this guy. Yeah, I'm just gonna click on this one, which is my Cyberpunk, and I'm gonna press back and it should come out. But yeah, this is the problem with Steam input. Sometimes it just does not wanna load quickly, so you wanna keep on trying it until you find it. There you go. Yeah, there we go. Split Gyro new, based on Remnant 2 layout. No, that's my old one. Well, you'll know what I mean. It's a little bit weird with how the Steam input wants to load. Does it want to load now? No. Okay, well, don't worry. As long as you save it as your layouts over here, it will actually save. So do not save as you want to always double or triple save, as you can see in my amount here. Like I've double, triple, quadruple saved it, just because I don't want to lose it and have to redo it again. You can thank Steam for that. This is the only thing that I hate about using the Steam input. But the good thing is that it is pretty much carried over. I know some of you are gonna say, why not just use Rewast? I'm like, okay, I'm too used to Steam input because I was a Steam Deck user, and I'm like, I don't want to enable another software to play a game. I want to have it all built in. But anyway, so that is pretty much how I do my setup. And in case you're wondering, no, we cannot enable the extended buttons because the controllers read the back buttons as the buttons on any of these. So this is not a separate input. This is actually part of the input, part of the whatever controller input it is. So yes, the only separate additional input that we can actually edit, it is the screenshot button. So as you can see, I pressed it, but you can actually go here and then of course click on the buttons, and at the bottom here there's a take screenshot button. So yeah, so you can do that. And I'm just gonna, oh yeah, there we go, Split Gyro 2. Oh, so I did, oh no, this is the one that I did yesterday. Yeah. So anyway, don't worry, when you to restart your Steam, it should open up in the templates, but other than that you should be good. So that is pretty much how I do things, how I go about doing my shooting. And now I'm gonna explain to you why I chose the face buttons as my skills. Actually, I don't really have to explain, it's just because it's at the tip of my fingers. So for example, you know, doggy, go doggy, and then of course I'm like, oh, I have to mark them, boom. So I know that this button here on my right is my skill, and then I know my last skill is at the bottom with my dodge. So that's how I do things. Even in a game like Road to Vostok, if I want to change my gun ammo or like the fire mode, I choose the bottom one as well, because when I'm aiming down sights and I'm holding the gyro, I'm perched on a corner, I want to change to like single shot. I'm just gonna press this and then like that, done. I've already changed to single shot. And I'm gonna change it back, change to single shot, dodge, change it back. Yeah, so change fire mode is always at the bottom. Anything that has to do with the gun, like a fire mode, I will always change it at the top. Okay, doggy, enough. Yeah, because you don't have to really lift up your thumb to press something else. Of course, when you're reloading, you don't plan to aim while you're reloading. You don't plan to shoot, so you can always lift it up from the gyro. It makes more sense for me, at least. Yeah. So of course, that is pretty much it. I think I've covered all of it. D-pad. You can do whatever you want to do with the D-pad, and then you can hold it to press it number 2, and you can hold this one to do something else. Oh, I did not actually bound it. Right? I forgot I didn't bound it in this. Yep. So sorry for the amount of yap that I've done. That is pretty much it. I think I should have covered all of it. If I missed out anything, do let me know. I'll try to answer in the comments below. Right, thanks for watching, guys.